It's interesting. Hopefully everybody's doing well. I guess it's the 24/7 Fusion Media Show. Taking over Combo Ground Table. Nah, I'm just fucking around. Yeah, hopefully everything's good.
I take it you can't see the intro.
Nah, nothing.
That's the thing, intro.
Oh.
I don't know why it's doing that to me. I have no idea. But, you got 24/7 Fusion riding in on the Batmobile. Music's playing. Intro's playing. But 24 can't see.
Yeah, and the thing is, everybody's muted but me. So it seems like I was able to talk, and I'm like, well, how's this working when I'm looking at everybody's mics being silenced?
Because it mutes all of us while the intro's playing, but it's not muting you because the intro isn't playing for you.
Bro, okay. I was like, yeah, my bad. I didn't mean to talk over anything. I didn't know anything was happening.
Hell, I'm talking over it right now.
Oh, shit. Okay. My bad, y'all. Are we to the clobbering time? Clobbering time!
Yeah, we're doing it live. Fuck it. Blow that shit up. We're doing it live. Greetings and welcome to the Comic Book Roundtable. I'm supposed to say ladies and gentlemen. Well, that was odd.
That was odd. What was I hearing back there?
You were hearing me in 24 talking because the intro didn't play for 24. Nothing
No,
played
it didn't.
for 24. And it didn't mute him during the intro either.
Huh. Okay. Weird. Weird, wild
That's
stuff.
odd.
That's StreamYard's being StreamYards. We're going to switch. As soon as I think my contract with StreamYards ends in February or March, we're moving to a different platform.
Wow. Is there a different one?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yes, there is. There are multiple ones.
Well, shit. Let us know.
So I will. I will.
Huh.
But yeah, I'm done with. I'm tired of messing with StreamYards. So.
Shit. Well, there you go.
Oh no! Fuck OBS. I hate OBS too.
Oh, I tried that.
Yeah, screw OBS too.
Too complicated for me, anyway.
I just got OBS. I've been kind of fooling around with it.
Uh-oh.
The problem is you'll get it all set up and everything will be working great, and then they'll do a patch and nothing works anymore, and you're like, yeah, screw that.
Yikes. So
I got tired of playing catch up every single time it updated and having to change things and having to redo my settings every single time and all that shit. I was like, no.
Sometimes I think they just deliberately put problems into the updates just so that they can then fix them for you.
Dean Krantz blames me for this. Good evening, Dean. Psychodorp 9, Dave Bob, Pat S, Polymes Minion. What is up, Polymes?
Hey, Polymes.
Classic Comics is in the chat and on the panel.
There you go. There you go.
What is up, Classic Comics? Jim Wong. What is going on? Clobbering Times, 24/7 Fusion Media.
Hey, chat. What's up?
Yeah.
Shockwave. So that's where the HP update crew went. Ugh.
Huh. There we go.
What do you got?
Oh,
are we doing show and tell again?
Mega Man number 1.
While we talk Black Panther and Warner Brothers and
so you got a Mega Man number 1 there, looks like. Am I right?
Well, hey, slow down a second there, man.
What? I'm sorry. Was it during your review? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I overordered on the sucker.
Yeah, I see you kind of peaked a little bit. Yeah.
Keep giving it on the art there.
I don't have to be able to see the issue number to know that's number 1. I ordered by ridiculous. It wasn't all my fault. The boss thought it was going to be a big hit too, and I was like, I don't know, man. I don't think so. But all right.
Yeah, because I remember like when man, when a Mega Man came out,
and it
shit.
wasn't much of a hit.
I mean, I loved it, man. I mean, because
okay, but it was just how the book wasn't big. They were
well, you know, I mean,
X-Men,
right?
other Titans.
I mean, you know, this thing was different. It kind of reminded me of Atari Force.
Oh yeah.
It was
Atari
before
Force.
that. It was before that, but yeah, I mean,
Love Atari.
Right. You know, like, you know, just a band of different kind of individuals on, you know, on different missions. I guess, yeah, man.
But this was before that, though, and this was intended to be. It was spun off from Green Lantern, and it was intended because Teen Titans had been so big.
Yep.
Roger Slifer was an interesting writer, but because you know, it was intended to be sort of like that. They were trying to catch something along lungs. So maybe they were trying to catch on to the X-Men and the Teen Titans type popularity. And
it was odd though, because they concluded the Citadel storyline so quick that they wrapped that up in like the first 8 issues. And it was
yeah. They sure did.
Writers and stuff.
Like, yeah, like okay, I guess, but
they changed writers and stuff, and it was I don't know. I mean,
I assume you have issue number 3.
I'm sure he does. I don't have it anymore.
Issue number 3. What's that?
Oh yeah, I wonder. Low.
So how low do you think Wakanda is gonna go, considering it's like nosediving right now?
I heard it was like a 73% drop.
Yeah.
Well, on true? Monday.
On Monday or whatever. There you go.
Yeah. I mean, I think it'll be down for this week and through this weekend, you know, but the weekend after this coming weekend, the next weekend is the Thanksgiving holiday, so they're probably going to see a bump again and go back up.
Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
You think people are really like, you know what? Let's not go see it. Let's not go see it right away. Let's wait till Thanksgiving to go see Wakanda Forever.
Well, I just think there'll be people home for the holidays with family, and they got time, you know. And what are you gonna do? It's like watch football or maybe go to a movie. You know, that's kind of the thing.
Shit, I'd rather watch paint fucking dry than go see Wakanda.
So would I, because I've sat through it once. That's all I ever intended to sit through it.
God help me.
Yeah, it's garbage, and but I think it won't get. It's not going to get good word of word of mouth. There you go, number 3.
Yeah, there it is.
First appearance of Lobo, y'all.
Very different looking Lobo.
Yeah,
and he's got this partner with him that never appeared again. I don't think.
Yeah, but look, ain't that badass? That the first time you see him, he has a badass bitch tied to the front of his bike, and he's just fucking plowing through space.
Yeah, boy, that's a cover you wouldn't see these days.
Hell no,
that's far too toxic.
Man.
Yeah.
There you go. First appearance of Lobo, y'all. So
I must have bought. I don't know why, but I stuck with this comic for like almost over a year before I just kind of got tired of it.
Yeah, I bought it for about the first year.
Wow, you're older than I thought you were.
What?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought you were like way younger than us. Gotcha.
No. If I'm reading it right, I think you're just a few years older than me, Clobby.
Gotcha.
Man, y'all tripping. I'm the youngest one here, man. Y'all need to cut it out.
You are the youngest one. I don't know. You might.
Krantz says, I'm letting Loki torture himself going to see. I didn't go see shit. I stayed at home. I didn't go to movies. Dave Bob's like, I refuse to give them a penny. I didn't give them a penny.
Well, I didn't either. I bought a ticket to Black Adam, and then I went in to watch.
You can't get away with that where I go.
Oh man.
Yeah, well, you all have my envy.
I don't know. I just knew. I knew.
You didn't go, Loki, did you?
I didn't go. I watched it at home.
Oh, okay. You cheated.
Yes, I cheated. Someone sent me a copy. You heard me going, arg. You know,
this aggravated me. Giffen started giving up on Legion for this. Oh, aggravated me. Anyway, go ahead. Although it was turning into garbage not too soon after this. So anyway. But yeah, well, lucky you. It's a good thing that you didn't, waste any gasoline or anything.
Just 3 hours of my life that I won't ever get back.
No, you won't.
I think that was too much of a price to pay. If they were like, listen, this is gonna cost you 3 hours of your life. You're never gonna get back. Will you watch our movie? I'd be like, Nope.
Yeah.
It is a bit long.
That's all it's going to cost you is 3 hours. I got better shit to do. I'll go back and play Final Fantasy IV again.
I always liked that cover.
Watch that wearing his Argyle socks.
Yeah, I always thought that was kind of interesting how what it was that the Citadel homeworld that had all those
Citadel.
moons that were linked by these I don't know if they were, I don't remember if they were cables or tunnels or something. That was kind of cool.
Man.
Yeah.
I listened to that TikToker. Oh yeah, you remember that TikToker?
Yeah, I
Y'all white
sure-
people need to stay away from the theaters.
Yes, but I had a pass.
Yeah.
I had a pass. I had a brother that I go to all the movies with, and he gave me his pass. He said, "I gave you the black man pass."
Gave you a ghetto pass?
He did. No, not ghetto. Wow, dude, really? No, he's not a ghetto man. He's a good man, and he is gave me a pass because I was telling him, I said, "Dude, I'm not supposed to be allowed to go see this movie." Can you hook me up? Give me a black man pass, and he did.
I need
see,
a black
obviously,
guy
I couldn't
to get
go
me
to-
through the front door.
Well, yeah, actually, I couldn't go all the way to where, but I know where 24 would have got me in. 24 would have got me in if it.
Yeah, I'd
couldn't go all the way down
smuggled
there.
you in. Yeah, I'd have smuggled you in. Yeah,
Yeah, that would have been my backup plan, dude. If I didn't have a guy close by,
But damn,
Actually, I actually begged him not to make me go. I said, dude, you won't hurt my feelings if you enforce the law, which says I'm not allowed to see it, and I won't. But he's my boy and everything. But he says, "No, you're going with me." If I'm going to go sit, I said, "Do we have to?" No, you have to this time because we go see all the stupid Marvel movies together.
Never forget, ladies and gentlemen, when you have an insane black woman on her period that says, "Y'all motherfuckers can't go to see this movie," we respect that.
I think she was trying to help us in this case.
Oh yeah.
Trying to do us a favor. No, she's a nutty. She's a nut. I'm just kidding. Total nut. We're echoing.
Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
There you go. Ty Gore. The whole Ty Gore character that sorry, it wasn't. He's never going to be Wolverine, you guys. I tried to back when I was reading it, he's just it's not going to work. You're trying to create a Wolverine. It's not going to work.
you really thought that's what they were going for with him?
Yeah, they were pretty
I think
transparent.
that's pretty much what they were trying for. He's got claws. He's feral. He's kind of a tough, smart guy, smart ass guy.
Yeah,
it's like a male version of Tigra.
Not quite. I think they were going for a Wolverine.
What?
Sure.
like Thundercat Tigra.
Oh no, he means Tiger.
Yeah, Tigra from Marvel. Yeah.
Okay. I was like, Thundercats. What does Thundercats have to do with this?
You're thinking of maybe you're thinking of when Thundercats. You're talking about who is that guy? It was Tigra. What's it called?
Tigra.
Yeah, I guess he was later.
Chitara.
There was a Tigra and a Chitara and a Panthro and a Lion.
That was much later.
Wily Kit, Wily Cat.
Yeah, that was a few years later.
Pumira, Linkcell,
Panthro. Yeah, Tiger. What was he? Tigora. What was the dude's name? Was Thundercats? What was it?
Tigra.
Tigra. Yeah, Tigra. Yeah. No, yeah, he was like the Will Riker of Thundercats.
So explain something to me. Explain something to me, Clauby.
Up.
Wow. What's that, Lucky?
So this penciler, Chris Wozniak, I guess that's how you fucking say his name, is taking Warner Brothers to court for plagiarism with the Batman.
Oh yeah.
I haven't heard this. What's the deal?
Yeah. I've heard.
Sounds familiar.
Yeah. That happened. Matter of fact, that came out like about 2 months ago. He was talking about. Yeah. He's been talking about that for the last couple months.
Well, what's the story?
Okay, so he is going civil action against Warner Brothers. His allegation is they ripped off a 1990 story outline for the Batman. So
for the screenplay.
So his story, which was called The Ultimate Riddle and later titled The Blind Man's Hat, claims those ideas were lifted and rewritten by Matt Reeves, who's a fucking 2-bit hack. And anyway,
he doesn't have a shot to win it. I'll tell you that
so
right now.
the most glaring examples were the mystery with the Riddler at the center and the big reveal that the Prince of Puzzles new Batman was Bruce Wayne, or as the case in the film believed he was onto what the Dark Knight and his crusade was all about. Riddler would unleash a plague upon Gotham, yada, yada, yada.
Are you talking about the Batman TV show? Cartoon?
Nah, the movie.
No, the movie.
You said the
Matt
Batman.
Reeves
You're calling-
movie.
Yeah, Matt Reeves.
Yeah, but I thought you said okay. But what is it ripped off from? You said a screenplay that the guy wrote. You mean?
No, this was a story
from a
outline that he
comic?
did.
Yeah. I think it was a comic
back
book.
in
Yeah.
1990.
Yeah, I'm trying to get a gist of what the story's about. So from 1990, the guy did a story
For
from-
Warner
for a
Brothers.
comic?
Yes,
Yeah, for the
a comic.
comics.
for the comics.
Okay. I mean, I know the artist's name. It sounds familiar, but I don't know. I think he was either a writer or an artist. I don't even remember the guy that much. And you're saying that was in a comic that was done, and then Reeves
We're
ripped it off?
talking supposedly there's more than 100 expressions from the story found in the movie.
Oh,
Yeah. Oh
not
yeah.
gonna matter.
This
But it's
is
from a
not-
comic. That's what you're saying.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I wish him luck, but I mean that
He didn't have a chance
Anas
to help.
Abdeen got ripped off tremendously by Paramount for
Yeah.
Star Trek Discovery, and they totally got away with it. So
Well, this is from a DC comic. He has DC owns the story, so he doesn't have a chance.
Apparently it's copyrighted work.
DC owns any story they publish, whether legally or legally they do anyway. So I don't know the story. I'm not familiar. I know nothing about this story nothing what you're telling me. But if it's published in a DC comic, they're not going to give him jack due. They did the same thing to Ed Brubaker. Look at all the crap they took for Winter Soldier and all that stuff they did. And they put his name in the credits. They even let him have an acting scene in the movie. But they don't pay him jack for his creation of Winter Soldier just because of the character Bucky and all these other writers who wrote stuff that they rip off all over the place for these movies. They give them acknowledgments to it. They don't pay anything.
Yeah, it's kind of like the same thing they did to Chuck Dixon with the Birds of Prey. Like the thing is, like each individual character was whatever alone, but he put together the thought of putting them all together, and all of a sudden they won't credit him because they already had the rights to the characters and all that. But he was the one that put them together to make the team have the dynamics that it did in order for it to be as famous as it was. And he don't get shit for it.
No. You won't get anything for this.
Right.
June Wong with $2 super chat said making a spoof Wolverine, tambourine, or tangerine.
Huh. Tangerine.
Thank you so much, June Wong, for that $2 super chat. Let me read the quote here. This is his quote, his big quote.
Uh-huh.
There's no disputing my plot predates their screenplay. That the people who made this film were in possession of my plot, and that the Riddler storyline in the film is directly derived from my plot. Now, before executive producer Michael Uslan and Warner Brothers Pictures used my plot in the film, they were supposed to negotiate a contract first to make sure I was fairly compensated. I was not credited anywhere. I was not paid anything. And in case you're wondering, that's not supposed to happen. So here I am asking Batman fans around the world to stop Hollywood from steamrolling yet another comic book creator. I got absolutely nothing. That is not justice. It would be nice if some of the more famous faces would shine a little light on the situation, because it would go a long way towards making this right. Nobody's going to do that because they don't want to stick their foot in it.
Doesn't have a prayer.
Suing Warner Brothers.
Same thing. So go ahead.
Suing Warner Brothers for using my story in the Batman film. Outrageous gag humor graphic novel. I don't know idea what the fuck he's talking about. So
Doesn't have a shot. You don't beat a corporation like that, whether you think you're right or not. And I'm not taking the side of the scum. Look, every single character, these classic characters that have made billions of dollars for these big companies, were unjustly, in terms of immorally stolen from creators. But they, unfortunately, in these situations, might always makes right. They don't have a chance against Warner. He doesn't. Just as Ed Brubaker, who did try this a little bit with Marvel, he didn't have a chance either.
If
He tried to
nothing
claim
else,
some-
they'll just file motion after
strangle
motion
him.
after motion and drag this thing out until he doesn't have any money left to pay for a lawyer, and then
that's all they'll do.
it'll be that.
Yeah. And that never look. This happened. Steve Englehart went through this. A couple of other comic book writers have gone through this. Had their stuff. They've actually tried to fight the movie people on it, and it ain't gonna. It's a shame. Look, the guy's probably right for sure. Although, why do you still, whatever they did in The Batman was such a dumb story. I wouldn't want to claim it myself personally, but that's beside the point. Ed Brubaker tried to fight. There you go. Kirby 2001. Love it. Ed Brubaker tried to fight for some creator ownership for the Winter Soldier. Now they used the loophole that said, "Well, Bucky already existed. So we already screwed the original creator of Bucky. Why won't we screw you?" So, yeah. But he gets acknowledgments. But this guy didn't even get an acknowledgement in the movie, did he?
No.
Now they really won't. Now they never will. Kirby Demon, love it. Got some Kirbiness going on, buddy.
Oh yeah,
I like it. So
yeah, like Gwagnar says, Steve Gerber and Howard the Duck. He never really got anything for that.
Yeah, it goes on and on. Gary Friedrich with a Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Gary Conway managed to get some stuff, but again, some people had certain prearranged deals, and yet still, there's so many stories. If you look at just the past couple of almost all the MCU movies, as I've talked about recently, how they cherry pick bits and pieces from all different types of stories. Well, they're not. I mean, then you'll see these gigantic list of acknowledgments in the end credits. Well, they're putting these guys' names. It's almost an insult in a sense. They think they were giving, look, thanks to these guys. Yeah, thanks. No shit, you didn't give them any money, though, when you're admitting in your credits that you stole from them. At least you use their stories or their art
Hollywood
for your movie.
It's typical Hollywood hypocrisy. They make movie after movie that defames, decries greed and capitalism and all that stuff, and they're the greediest motherfuckers on earth.
Absolutely.
And what Shockwave just said reminds me of the Disney contract. They own the rights to anything you create, even on your own time.
Wow, really? Jeez.
The only guy that ever got any close to some sort of chunk of what he created, he stole from a guy in a sense as well, and barely had a lot to do with the creation. That's Bob Kane, and that's only because his father was a lawyer, and he got money out of Batman all of his life, even though he only barely created him and had Bill Finger did most of the work. So the one guy that got more than he deserved, it just kind of figures, was a weasel. Everybody else in comics history who created all the characters get screwed big time. Even some of the ones that end up getting a little bit later, like the Siegel and Schuster later, when they were too old to enjoy it, and later their family, after they were gone, one of the Siegel family getting a little recompense here and there. The Kirby family, after all that time, getting a little bit. For the most part, all of them got screwed. All of them.
Yeah. Comics will break your heart, kid.
So why don't more people know about this? I mean, comic books are so huge right now. I mean, they're everywhere. Video games, movies, comic books. You've got comic book characters everywhere. Why don't more people know about how basically the original creators got screwed over? Because nobody really cares anymore. No one gives a shit.
Quick Kirby Machine Man. They don't care. They're not in. Only hardcore geeks really know that stuff. Because even a lot of people who do like and read comics don't even read comics history. And don't really know it and aren't really into it from that. I mean, I guess not everybody's into the minutia of everything. Like, for example, the people that like to watch football or baseball, but they don't know all the history of it, but they still enjoy going to the games. It's kind of that sort of thing. Only the hardcore. Well, hello there, Maria. Oh my goodness. Maria.
I once knew a girl named Maria.
Lovely. Well,
people Maria. And back in the day, you didn't have a bunch of websites trying to push content out and doing article after article related to comics. Back then, if you didn't see something in some fan magazine, then you would never know anyway.
Yeah,
because it's not like Time magazine was going to cover that kind of stuff.
No, not really, not at all. Hey there, love that, love Marvel. Great stuff.
Issue number 1, man.
This stuff, man.
Nice,
dude. You are a walking comic shop, sir.
You'd be surprised, man.
I'm loving it.
All kind of shit, man.
Blow that shit up.
There you go.
Oh man. So I love the old bagging and boarding of comics. I miss doing that. Actually.
Why don't you do it more?
Well, have you seen the price of bags and boards these days?
I have.
Oh man.
I have. You spend you go in, you get 2 or 3 comics, and you spend almost as much on bags and boards as you do the 2 and 3 comics.
First appearance of Giant Man.
Nice.
Or Goliath. Black Goliath.
Bill Foster. Yep, Black Goliath. Bill Foster was great though. He was a good character. I liked.
So for 100 boards, 100 bags, I'm paying $24.
Oh yeah, but see, I don't have that many comics I need to bag and board right now, but I have tons of these of my I love my favorite thing in the world of comics, magazines about comics. My back issue magazine, my Kirby collector, my alter ego, and the bags and boards for those are ridiculous. I can't really afford them right now because I want a bag and board. Like it's been years since I've done it, so I got stacks and stacks that I want to bag and board. But man, it is expensive.
Guagnar's asking the right question though. What Marvel and DC comics are even worth bagging now? I couldn't tell you.
No new ones.
No new ones.
Oh man.
Well, I don't know. I like the 78 Superman and the 89 Batman.
Yeah, but
they got some interesting stuff that they're trying to pull. They just like DC just came out of their Dark Crisis, and they're going into the new Golden Age.
Oh my God, I've seen some of the stuff on that. Ugh. I don't know, man. Some of it looks bad.
That's not a new Golden Age.
Jeff Johns is writing that, isn't he? I think it'll probably be decent.
Some of the costumes are wrong, but that's just me being
Well, it's like
really, Clobberin doesn't like new costumes. I would have never.
Yeah, no, there's a shocker there. No, but they're trying to make it look like this old school, and yet they're getting things wrong. Is what I'm saying in this case.
Oh, I gotcha. How fucking difficult is that? How difficult? Okay, imagine working at DC, right? Imagine working at DC and being like, okay, we're gonna make a comic for Batman, but we're gonna do it in like 84. Does anybody remember what he looked like in 84? And like nobody knowing, and then going, well, how are we gonna find that out? You work at fucking DC Comics. You work there. Somebody somewhere at DC has an 84 Batman and what he looked like. It's not that hard.
Well, he looked basically the same for what, 30,
for a long
40
time.
years. Know, it's not that hard to figure out.
They didn't change him all the time, and the design was so simple. You didn't have to do that much, You didn't have to screw around with that much. But I hate modern costumes. Sorry,
that doesn't mean shit.
No, I know.
We were watching the last part of Voltron, and in the US they made a little bit more footage, and they took footage of stuff that they never used from Go Lion in Japan, and they came up with a little bit more footage. They couldn't get Alora's hair right. They couldn't get the fucking costumes right. They had Pidge in a black uniform instead of a green. I mean, it was all these little things that you're like, guys, you have access to all of this stuff. You have access to the guys that originally penned all of this, and you're going to do this shitty, wannabe, crappy, lazy job on this. And it looks like ass. The last, I think, 18 episodes of the series look like ass because they couldn't get the colors right. They couldn't get the hair on the people right. They couldn't remember who was in what line. I'm like, God damn, who's working on this?
They might have had to use a different animation house or something.
Yeah, they couldn't go back to Toei.
Sometimes.
Yeah, they couldn't go back to Toei. Toei wasn't going to redo it, but they had access to everything.
Mm-hmm.
So they had access to everything that they had made, how they had made it, all of it, and they just it's like they just didn't give a shit.
Yeah. I've seen them with a lot of animated shows back then in the 80s and even into the 90s where certain episodes, they had a schedule to meet, so they didn't always use the same animation studio. If you look at those last few episodes of X-Men the animated series in that last season they did in the 90s, because I just re-binged it, watched that show. The last 4 or 5 episodes, they farmed it out to some cheapos because it doesn't look anything like the other episodes. They were awful looking.
Yeah, Dean Krantz says never occurred to any of these fucks to actually look in a comic book store or talk to fans.
No, of course not. Why would you do that? That'd be silly.
So
that's for sure.
Well, the fans are the problem, you see. The fans are why comics are so awful and need to be changed.
Oh, yeah. Wait, excuse me, sir. The toxic fans.
Right.
How many? Okay, so let me ask you a question. I'm going to ask all three of you a question. While 24/7 is looking for more comic books to show off. If today DC Comics came out and said, "Look, we're going to fix everything in our comic book shop. We love all of you. We love all the fans," but they still don't give you an apology for all the shit they've said, all the shit they've done, how they have disrespected fans. They just up and said, "Oh, you know what? We see we got to change, and we're going to change. We're going to start appreciating everybody." But they never apologize, not once, for the shit they pulled. Would you be like, "Oh my God, everything's back to normal"?
No.
Not a chance.
Ooh.
Wait a minute. Put that to me again one more time. I want to make sure I understand what you're saying.
Okay, what I am saying is they don't apologize for any of the shit they've done for the last 10, 20 years. They just say, "Oh, we've seen the light. We're going to change. We love you. Please come back and buy our products."
If the same people now, like who are running things, like the CC Cebulskis and who's running DC right now? I know it's not Diane. Is it not Diane? What's her face anymore? Who is it? Jim Lee's gone.
Pretty much. Is
Jim Lee's gone? Right? Is he gone?
No, he's still there.
I thought.
Is he sure? Well, okay. If it's the current regimes, I wouldn't. They'd have to prove it to me, but I don't. To be fair, look, as bad as all this stuff was over the past 10 years, they chased me away before everything got really, really political and all that stuff, and in your face with the horrible decisions they made, like Screw 52 and stuff like that. So, but if I were someone who was reading it past that point and, got chased away by all of the horrible, so-called political identity politics garbage that have infested and destroyed the industry, and I were one who was chased out at that point because of that stuff, I wouldn't believe him. I'd be like, "Well, you're just gonna have to prove it to me," but I would not believe them. So no,
what if they? What if they did try and straighten shit up and sell things, that people wanted, but you still never got that apology for all the shit they pulled?
Oh, I'd be fine because you're never going to get an apology from people like that. The
apology would
be the actual putting out of good work would be the apology, because that's the best you're going to get from people like that, and the acknowledgement. And I guess I could, for example, I just bought just a couple of months back, and it just goes to show you the state of Marvel. I bought that Fantastic Four Full Circle by Alex Ross. Now, Alex Ross has said some scummy things as a person. He's said, but he's a great artist. And they had to farm that out to another company. In other words, obviously it's quote unquote Marvel property, stolen though it is, the FF, meaning the FF, to buy that and read and enjoy that book, which I did. It's a beautiful book. It's not even technically a Marvel production. They just farmed it out to this company, this big one-shot, nice hardcover book. And so stuff like that on an individual basis are still possible. And yet that thing had to be so divorced from Marvel continuity and so much of an outlier for me to pick it up and enjoy it. So stuff like that, though, hey, I'll give a look. Like this thing, this thing, Jeff Johns has done a few good comics before in his life. So him doing this thing that 24 was talking about, I might go, is that going to be any good? Is it just going to focus? But see, that's going to take place in the modern DC universe, so I don't trust it.
Mark Silvestri is doing a Batman limited series, Batman and the Joker Deadly Duo is what it's called. And the first issue was okay. The art's really good. and it's, I think, outside of regular continuity too.
Yeah, there's another thing. If they did something outside of the that they would come out and say, look, this comic here, like you mentioned earlier, Loki, the Superman 78 thing. Now I haven't really read all that yet. It's interesting enough, but I'm willing to try that in the Batman 89 one simply because it doesn't take place in the modern DC universe. And if it's good, fine. If not, fine. So yes, certain isolated incidents I'm willing to look at it, but anything that they say, if they say we're going to do something that's outside of our current messed up, horrible universe, then I might give a look at it. You take a look at it, but other than that, I'm not going to go back. I'm been fine with them.
Bruce Lombardo was talking about Marvel and Disney eating dicks, ladies and gentlemen.
Walt Simonson, yeah.
Yes, he's told me this a bunch. Walt Simonson's going to be the captain of the new Thor stuff. But if it's being published by associated with anything to do with MCU, no, Marvel Disney can eat so many. Pornhub will sue people. Wow.
My God.
I like it.
And
yet,
Bruce,
brilliant. IDW is a bunch of jerkweeds either, and yet our buddy Bruce has always recommended to me, rightly so, that Walt Simonson is working for them doing Ragnarok, and IDW is not much better than Marvel these days. I actually like this issue.
Marvel 2-in-1. Nice.
You know what this is, right?
Yeah,
you know what this is, Clobbering.
Well, yeah, it's the thing with Shang-Chi.
No, it's beyond that.
Well, I mean, you have to refresh my memory then. I can't remember.
All right, this is the actual, if I'm not mistaken,
the comic.
The second appearance of Spider-Woman.
Oh, that's a bit obscure, dude. But yes, it is.
Yeah, if you yeah, and then this is
Spider who?
Marvel 2-in-1 is
and then actually this is her third appearance, and you could tell like from like she didn't even have the hair yet.
This was after Marvel Spotlight. They put her in this, and then they gave her her own title and changed her origin again. So yes, he's right. Second appearance because of the first one.
Yeah, no. This is the second, and this the third.
Second. That's what I'm saying. Her first one was in Marvel Spotlight, wasn't it?
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
And he's in this one, and then she's in this one. But then when they gave her own series, and she actually had hair coming out of instead of that hair covering mask. I mean, there you go. That they totally retconned her origin again right there. She has weird changes in her origin. Yeah, for some reason.
Elvira got shit on her.
I love the Project Pegasus era stuff.
Oh my god, yeah, I love 2-in-1.
Claudia, you have a message here.
Yeah, that was some good shit.
Ragnarok did 18 issues of Joy. Clementines, if you want the first 6, get me your address. Oh man, he has an omnibus for me. Oh man, you don't. I hate to make you do something like that, but I do want them. I can't lie and say that I would love to read it. If you have an email or if you can contact me on the Twits, I'll give it to you.
Twits.
You don't have to put yourself out like that, Bruce. But dude, I really do appreciate it, and I do want to read those. He's always telling me about them, and I've heard, I love Walt Simonson and Simonson's store run.
I would check with like some used booksellers. They might have a trade paperback or something that you could get cheap.
No, there's certain one, not on Ragnarok. That's too new.
Spider-Woman.
But I hear you.
Oh yeah, hey, you watch the cartoon, Spider-Woman cartoon from the late 60s, early 70s,
late 70s.
Oh yeah,
late 70s, late 70s.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, late 70s Spider-Woman cartoon. Yeah.
No, that was late 70s.
Late 70s, yes, sir. Or early 80s, right up in there.
Okay, yeah, that was I liked that. That was actually pretty good. I enjoyed that.
By the way, I got everyone. Don't talk about reprint books around our buddy 24.
Yeah, fuck that.
Don't say omnibus around him.
Oh my god! Yeah, don't know or graphic.
Yeah, the whole word is
graphic novels.
Well, graphic novels are different.
I showed 24. 24 came over to the house with me and Ash. And I showed him this graphic novel. He's like, man, why didn't you get the real shit? So I'm like, motherfucker.
Hey, 24, you don't want to mess up the real stuff. That's what you get the graphic trades for. So you could, you don't have to mess with the originals, man. The reading copies. How about that?
The reading copies, buddy. Lord Thoth. Yeah,
They look
look,
good on a shelf, man.
You know what I'm saying? I got a few supporters in the house. I appreciate that shit.
Don't listen to Lord Thoth. He has a bunch of trades and omnibuses.
Well, you know, look. Don't only thing about a graphic novel that I would buy. No shit. Like seriously, is if the actual book or whatever I'm buying came out in graphic novel form for the first time. And I'm like, well, fuck it.
It's an actual graphic novel. But see, here's the thing about
yeah, I'm just saying, like, but if it's a bunch of reprints, I mean, I'm going for the originals, man.
Yeah,
fuck,
not everybody can afford $25,000.
Dude, I'm broker than all y'all. What you mean?
Dude, not everybody can go out and say, I'd like to read Fantastic Four #1. Let me go spend $85,000 on it.
He got you there.
Well, you know what, man? But you know what? I worked my way back. So you know what the thing is, the funny part. The
so
cheapest
you said
that
if I want to read Action Comics #1, I got to go spend a couple $1 million. Is that what you do?
I mean, damn. If you wanted that bad, you look online for some shit like that. But
you're not being serious.
Look. All right, I'll give you an example. Now, Justice League, right? The original run of Justice League. When I thought it was impossible to fuck with it, and I actually started doing, you know, when I started doing all my unboxings and I was pulling out fucking comic books out the shits, and I had all the look. I went as far as Justice League into the 20s, and I was getting them shits for like $2 or $3, damn near mint. So you know what? You know, but
everybody can do that. And let me tell you something.
But that's the thing, man. But I don't know. With me, I did the homework. I went. I deep dived in, and I found that shit for little or nothing. And I was even pulling out the fucking the receipts and showing like, yo, Green Lantern issue. You know, Green Lantern issue 54 of the original series. Boom! I bought it for like $2 in mint condition. I was fucking putting the receipts to the screen, like showing that shit. Like, this is what I got. Like, you know, letting folks know, like, yo, this shit is possible, man. That's all I'm saying. Like, if I did it,
auctions.
I was fighting for them motherfuckers, though. I got them.
Okay.
By the way, Spider-Woman aired from September 1979 to January 1980.
There you go.
There you go.
That was a fun cartoon.
That was a good cartoon. I like this.
I never watched it.
Yeah, I'm with you there, Wagner. I love the omnibuses. The artwork looks beautiful. Here's the thing. Here's what's more important than anything. Look, collectors, I love the whole art of collecting, and I love that you guys collect 24. But comic books were created as an art form to tell stories. They're not going to be around forever, and as time goes on, those comics are going to deteriorate. What should always endure is the art and the stories and the characters. And how those can be translated and over the years, I'm game. As long as people are enjoying those stories and art, I don't care how they get there. Yes, that they ended up in that format because that was the format available. In 100 years, I want people to be able to read these things no matter how they can, and they're not going to be able to buy that Spider-Man #1, Spider-Woman #1 there. Of course, why would they? Because the comic was kind of shitty, to be honest with you. That was actually a shitty comic. Let's just be honest.
Hey man, hey.
Come on, it's a terrible man.
Hey man, slow. Hey man,
a little hot artwork on that thing, I believe, or something like that. Or
hey man, hold up, man. Hey man, she's listening, bro. She's listening. Stop that.
Marv Wolfman wrote it, but hey.
Yeah, she's listening. Don't do that.
Hey, Loki, I'd like to read Detective Comics 27. Could you loan me a couple $1 million?
No.
Damn it! I'll never be able to read it now.
Oh man, shit,
Well,
shit, Iron Man.
You might have it.
Hey. Might have something close to it.
What is it? Detective 27.
Detective 27.
I might have something close to it.
What do you mean? You either have it or you don't. I believe if you have, I believe you, man. I don't want you to pull it out.
I don't have that. Come on, man. You know better than that.
Have you ever read it?
Maybe he has one of those facts.
Actually, I've read it online, but I haven't. Of course, I've never seen the actual comic, man.
Well, you should never read it unless you're holding the actual comic.
Oh, you know what, man? You might be right. I
don't want, dude. I want to hear about you reading a comic that's not the actual freaking comic again, man.
I don't know, man. I'm gonna
my 24 boy knows I love him. My boy,
I'm gonna get my
24 knows
hardbacks. I got the entire Gunslinger, the Dark Tower series. I got all that in hardback. I didn't get the damn comics, and I'm not talking about the flimsy little paperback omnibuses. I'm talking about the hardbacks. I'm sorry,
Now-
I'm gonna collect them in the hardbacks before I'm gonna collect the comics.
I do. Oh, I do love the collectors that he's a collector, man. I'm totally for having the originals. In fact, a lot of people though, 24, they'll get those originals like you, but they want to keep them and preserve them in nice shape, so they'll buy a trade or something that they can just whenever they feel like just flipping through the story and don't want to go disturb their original. So you can at least get behind that, right?
Yeah. I can.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
What do you
this
have
is.
here? Oh, that's modern-y.
Yeah, but I mean,
Nice art.
Yeah, that and it's autographed also by the artist. So
Blow that shit up.
there you go. So it was just it was a part of the Spider-Verse
Okay.
series or whatever. But the fact that it was #1 and it was autographed, and I think I got it for like $1.50 or some shit. I was like, why not? You know what I'm saying? Spider-Woman.
I hear you.
There's so many
It
Spider
was just one of those. Yeah, like I seen it floating around
thing.
for nothing, man. So I was like, let me go ahead and grab it.
Jessica Drew's a lot hotter than the other. What was it, Julia or something or other? Well, there you go. You got a Spider-Woman collection there.
Yeah. It's I don't fuck around like any comic book she showed up in, outside of her series, I definitely would get it.
Ditko did that issue though when he was not as good.
It's fucking awesome, man.
Now, see, the thing is, isn't that weird? That was like an annual. Spider-Man had taken over that book after he used to share it with Human Torch. Then they do an annual, and they just don't have. It's a Marvel team up without Spider-Man, which was rare at that point.
Yeah,
I remember that cover. 50.
You remember this one, huh? Yeah, actually, this was a pretty badass cover. When I seen it, I was like, "Yo!" When I was
oh yeah, I got
youngin'.
that one.
Yeah, I thought this was pretty fucking wild, man. It was a pretty good cover, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah, Marvel had a little phase there in the like mid to late '80s where they did several photo covers.
Yeah, they did that Spider-Man one, man. I love that.
Yeah, Marvel team up, Spider-Man, Captain America.
No. It was one where Spider-Man was like, I think he had like Gene. I think he was looking out of a window or some shit, man.
He's like in his apartment and he's like unmasked.
Unmasked.
Yeah, unmasked. Right.
I remember that one. But there was also one with Spider-Man and Captain America on a Marvel team up, and they were like cosplayers. They look like them.
Oh, for real? I don't think I've ever seen that one.
I'll find it for you. But dude, you got those stuff you just picked up with these new acquisitions, the Spider-Woman comics, or what? Or are you just getting them together?
No. Actually, I've had these. I had these for a couple years. Like I've unboxed them, on the channel, like probably like a year and a half ago, man. Yeah, man, it's been a minute, man.
Nice.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of the comics that I had that I was getting from about a year and a half, 2 years ago, it was shit that I was buying so I could unbox on the channel. And then once I started doing live streams, I started unboxing all them shits. Like it's like damn near every day. Lord Dolph to tell you, man, and Chris Persia. Like I mean, some folks that remember when I was fucking live streaming tough, man. I was showing off all kinds of shit, man. And I was getting like some comic books I was getting for like 90 cents. I'm talking like brand new fucking Green Lanterns, like from the original 60 series. My issues like 70s, like him, like I was getting like Green Lantern, Green Arrow team ups, and dude, and like I said, Lord Dolph to tell you, I was fucking putting the fucking comic book and you could and showing off the reflection. There was no cracks, no nothing. Like it was fucking mint condition, getting it for like $1. And I was sitting there just fucking head hunting, just looking through. Like, see, the thing is, I'm affiliated with a whole bunch of comic book stores that they all got together, and they have like it's like 200 plus stores. And then on this site, and you can just browse through everybody's fucking catalog. And I'm sitting there going through everybody's shit and just fucking surfing through everybody's shit and finding the cheapest comics and everybody has to where you could magnify and look at the corners and the creases and everything else. And shit, man, I was boy, I was killing it, man.
Some of that stuff he was paying, and I can attest to this because I saw it. Some of this stuff he was paying more for the shipping on these books than he was on the books. But those books were worth like 10 times with that shipping, which made to me absolutely no sense to me. I'm like, wait a minute. The book, I mean, literally right here, it's saying you can get this, you can sell this book for this. You're buying it for pennies on that. And it's costing you more in shipping, but you can make 10 times off that book. I honestly, it's insane. It's insanity. I don't get it.
Oh yeah.
And then even with shipping and handling, the fact that it's all media is actually the cheapest. If I don't know if anything's cheaper than media, but when it comes to shipping media in the mail, they discount it compared to you shipping anything else in you know. I don't know why it is. Why is that? Anybody know? I don't know why I don't know why media like books, comic books, anything that's related in that form or in that format is actually reduced compared to anything like, let's say if you're shipping out clothes or a purse or anything else, you know, they'd fucking charge you regular price. But when it comes to books, comic books, you tell them that is media or like records, oh, they'll definitely reduce the price on your shipping and handling. But I don't know why that's so important or why that is, but it is all throughout America, throughout the country, man. So I don't know if you guys ever knew that, but shipping for comic books and like records and anything that's media is definitely cheaper because once you tell the people at the post office, hey, this is media. Oh, the price goes down.
Yeah, media mail.
Yeah.
Jim Long says this is why you don't let the women folk sell your shit.
Oh,
this is why you don't let the moms sell your comic book collection. Oh, excuse me, ma'am. Can I just have this whole bin? Here's $20. Oh, sure. Go right ahead. There goes all your number ones. There goes all your number ones.
Lord Thaw said he picked the pennies.
That's exactly what happened to my Star Wars toys.
That's why I blew all my shit up before I left home. That's why I blew all my shit up before I left home. G.I. Joe, Star Wars, you name it, it got blown up. Lord Thaw says, love this show, Loki. Missed you guys. We missed you guys.
Yeah, for real, man.
Avon lives, long live the Legion, brother.
Chris Persia put up a message earlier talking about, I think it was Chris saying he didn't get his first comic book till he's 10. What did you get for your first comics? Do you remember your first comic you ever picked up? I do. It was a Star Wars comic, a 4-part Return of the Jedi comic that I still have. But by all means, guys, what's your first comic you ever remember getting?
Thank you, Bruce.
Classic? What do you got? Can you remember? It's not easy to remember that kind of thing.
No, I don't either.
Damn. First comic I
I would
more likely my household norm that the first comic book came into my house was from my big brother. More like it was Batman. I would have to say it was Batman because he's one of the first this is one of the first things I remember in my life is Batman and Robin. So yeah, man.
My first superhero comic was Action Comics. It's like 430, I think. But my first comic, I don't know. It was probably a Disney comic like Donald Duck or something.
Chip and Dale.
Yeah, I mean, I started reading comics when I was like 4 or 5 years old. So
Oh man, it's so tough to remember. I can't remember the exact. I always envy people who can remember the very first one because they're I mean, I guess there's a difference between your very first one or there's just the first one you remember. I mean, I guess you have to go with what you remember.
Right.
And I guess it was Fantastic Four. I think it might have been Fantastic Four. Oh, it's a Kirby issue, but it was like in the 90 something or other. But I only have vague memories of that one. I remember later the one that left an impression on me that always felt like my first comic, but I know it wasn't. Was it was not even close to my first comic, but I think it's the first one I really remember the most was the Power Records, Fantastic Four Power Records, which was had the book and record thing, which was a reprint.
Yeah. I got it.
It was a reprint of Fantastic Four number 26, which was a retelling of the origin. That's how I learned to read those Power Records. But I want to say Fantastic Four number 90. 90-ish. I don't know the issue number, man. But it was an FF comic. It was a Batman comic somewhere around that time. But I just don't fully remember. They're just kind of a big blur. What I remember is that Power Records, and maybe a couple years before that, getting a Batman comic. But it's kind of a blur. I just remember watching the cartoons a lot till I was able to get comics. So,
yeah.
I always feel bad because I know people that can tell you the exact issue, and I'm like, man, I envy that.
Yeah, I know, man. Shit.
FF91.
Damn.
Lord Thel says FF91.
Damn. FF91. Yeah. Bruce Lombardo says his was Transformers issue number 1. I got that issue too. Transformers issue number 1. Got some good shit, man. Yeah, man.
He also, Lord Sotham, before they mentioned the Adventure Comics, might have been his first. I don't know. With the Legion in it. I remember FF91 had a thing in a neck shackle. Yeah, was who was on that planet with when he fought Torgo or whatever.
Did anybody collect the little He-Man books? The little He-Man comic books? I got all of them motherfuckers.
I think I had one of those at one point.
Actually, you could find them online. You got people selling them things for all kinds of prices, man. Some people got them for decent prices, and some people got them shits like buy one for $10, and you got motherfuckers that sell you 6 of them motherfuckers for $10. He's like, what the fuck? Yeah, man. They got that. Matter of fact, it's funny you say that because people sell that. The back of the G.I. Joe, the card that has all the stats and shit.
I got those too. I got a bunch of those.
People sell those. They sell the stats for the Transformers. On the back they had the with the proof of purchase. They had like some stats, and you'll see like the power and this and that, and man, dude, people sell all that kind of shit, man. Some people
they've got a recreation of the original Destructicons at Target right now, but they're all Tonka yellow. So they're all Tonka yellow. They have the Tonka symbol on them. But
I've seen those. Those are the fusion, the Tonka toys with the with the Constructicons, man. Oh, that's fucking awesome. Yeah, man.
$140 for, and here's the crazy thing. Unboxed. I bought a G1 authentic G1 Devastator for $100. That is with everything. That's with the instruction manual. That's with the guns, the parts, everything's there.
Right.
Except for the box.
Right.
$100. Every part's there. It's a complete set with the manual. They want $150 for that yellow Tonka Fusion. I mean, that's $50 more than a Gen 1. Are you fucking crazy?
Yo, it's funny? Did you see the they have a lot of Fusion toys out now, man. I couldn't fucking believe it. They have a Optimus Prime Christmas toy. Have you seen that one? Where it's like he has the red, white, and the stripes. Looks like a fucking candy cane, man. And he has a roller, and the back of it opens up. So there's a Optimus Prime Christmas toy out now. Then they had like the Ghostbusters Transformer where the Ecto 1 transforms. They got all kind of shit, man. Matter of fact, they have the one where they have Megatron transforms into the Cobra Hiss, and it comes with the Baroness, like the old school, and she rides on the back. Yo, that shit's fucking fire, man. You guys never seen that one?
I don't think I have.
Wow, man. Yo,
which one?
You pull that shit up, that Megatron Cobra Hiss tank, and he transforms into the and look, that shit is fucking fire, man. They got some good shit out there, man.
Do you have 24? Do you have DC Comics for this number 47 with the first He-Man DC book where it's with Superman?
No, man. Dude, I was close to fucking getting that a couple times, man. During my whole little comic book heist about a year and a half ago. Yeah, I was on the fucking hunt for that one, man.
He calls it a heist.
That thing is,
ladies and gentlemen.
Oh yeah, because I was.
Hey, I got
How do you know about that?
Got hooked
Pat?
on. What's that?
How do you know about that fire in my junior year of high school? I didn't think anybody knew about
Must
that.
have told him.
Oh yeah, what you know about that fire, boy? Yeah, I already. Yeah.
Bruce,
I already know.
brother. Thank you for being here, man.
You good, Bruce?
For hopping in.
Bruce, my man. Take it easy, brother.
Bruce.
Yeah, that's some serious changes that DC Comics presents with the first He-Man when he made Superman. That one of DC.
Man,
buddy of mine paid pretty good for it when he's trying to be a completist for DC Comics Presents, so he had to get it, and he paid a good bit.
Dude,
recently.
Man, I kept getting outbid for that motherfucker, man. That shit was fucking
big, it's huge.
But but the thing is, I was
Superman and He-Man. I guess everyone wants to see that,
Man, that was a good one, man. Did you and another thing too is like you should see how they brought He-Man back into the Injustice universe. Did you hear about that?
No.
Nah, what it was is they were trying to figure out how to stop Superman, and they ended up like crossing Eternia and putting He-Man against him. For the Injustice, you seen that, Loki, huh?
Was that in the game?
No. It was in the comic book, man.
It was in the comic
book.
Okay. He-Man came to the Injustice.
Yeah. So basically, the comic book took it, further. It's like they ran the storyline further than what we seen in the games, because there's only 2 games. So they ran the story, and come to find out, they crossed Eternia, and they brought He-Man into it, and He-Man wasn't fucking around. So it was good to see, He-Man come back into the fold. That was actually, they did that when they brought He-Man back into DC after so many years. They crossed him into the Injustice universe, and you guys can pick that up, at your local comic book store, man. So that shit is there, man. And you can get it in comic book form. You know how am I? So
you hit comic shops much? 24?
Yeah. Shit, yeah, man. Shit, whenever I'm with Loki, shit, that's what we do, man.
I'm gonna go comic shops with you guys.
Yeah, man. This is it. Man, boy, the one by Loki's house. Oh my goodness, that motherfucker there's awesome. People are nice.
Space Cadet with the pizza place.
Man.
And we did
Bedrock
man. City. Bedrock City wasn't that bad, and I've been to 3 of those Bedrock Cities now. I've been to 2 different ones since me and you went to that one. I was like, okay, I got to check out the other ones. The other 2 were not as impressive at that one over by your house. So,
if we would have went down a little further, there's one on Westheimer, which is the original location of their first Bedrock City was on Westheimer, and then they moved it off of, they moved it to another location on Westheimer. It was a bigger store, and the guy that does the Overstreet price guide,
Bob Overstreet.
No. He's the guy that runs it. What's his name? Fuck. He owns all the Bedrock cities. Not Bob. There's a guy up under him that, and I met him. He's actually a pretty good. As a matter of fact, I asked him about him when me and you went into that Bedrock City. I was asking about the owner of Bedrock City.
Didn't Bob die?
Right, but the guy that's the owner of Bedrock City here in Houston, he has a couple of different locations for his comic book store. He's the guy that's running Overstreet now, and he's been been doing it ever since, like, if I'm not mistaken, the 90s, man.
At least the 90s. That's when I think Bob Overstreet.
Right, and I think his name is Eric, if I'm not mistaken, man. I could be wrong, but he's actually, if you look up the owner of Bedrock City comic books in Houston, he's the guy that he does the Overstreet price guide now. And it's crazy, that the guy that does that is here in Houston, and I've known that since the 90s, man. So he's right here in our own backyard, man.
Wow. There you go.
Yeah, come hang out, Globby. Come down.
Yeah, man.
I would love to, man. Tell you that. You know, it gets me nostalgic when you mentioned Overstreet because I remember back when you had to wait a year to know what your comic books were worth because we waited for that yearly edition of the Overstreet comic book price guide.
And they started coming monthly.
Jokingly, we used to call it the Overpriced Comic Book Street Guide, but it was full of ads and stuff, but it was always pretty cool. I used to get the hardcover edition sometimes of it, but it was a pretty thick thing and had all the comics in there. Of course, there weren't as many comics as there are now. When it first started coming out in the, I guess, either late 60s or early 70s and throughout the course of the 80s and 90s before they started doing update issues and then Wizards started doing all their price guides and all these other competitors. For a while, they had the market game that was just the Overstreet comic book price guide. There weren't too many other competitors doing anything. Remember those days? Good Lord.
My bad. The owner, his name is Richard, and that I got that wrong. His name is Richard, man, and he's the guy that's doing the Overstreet price guide now.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, his name is Richard Evans, man, and he's the owner. So just to know, like, shit, I remember I used to come to him, and he's a tall guy, so he's like 6'4", 6'5", and
yeah,
that
was later, Pat S.
Yeah, he's a real nice guy, man. So
yeah, that was later, Pat S. It used to be it was once a year, dude.
Yeah. It was come on, when it came out every month. That was
Wizard later. Well, before Wizard, it was also Overstreet still doing a monthly thing, but for the longest, up until into the 80s, maybe the mid to late 80s, it was once a year.
It was once a year, yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
because that motherfucker was thick too. Shit,
I still have some of my old ones, man. They were nice.
Man, that motherfucker was thick as fuck, man. I was like, damn.
I mean, how it would be now. With all the different, the way they stop and start series over and over again.
Oh, it'd be 20. You couldn't do it.
Yeah. Right. I mean, how many? It'd be like.
Does he still do a yearly one? I don't think he does a yearly one anymore. Does he?
No, I'm not sure, man. Because I'm not gonna lie, I haven't picked one up in man, maybe
I don't know if they even do that anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if they even do them in paper. Do they?
I don't think
it's
so.
Probably just like a website or a digital version.
Wizard couldn't do it either because Wizard, when they were doing it monthly, they couldn't put everything in there. But this, back then, 70s, 80s, it was still enough. It was comics have been around such a short time, you could have it all in there each year. But now, you can't do it.
Oh, Pat ass.
Back then, there was like one Avengers series, and now there's been like, God, 12, 15? Who the hell knows?
Yeah, it's just not possible now.
Oh shit! Yeah, I know, right?
It's like it. It's just blue day.
Yeah, and Chris Berger. Yeah, man. I see, man. I guess I asked for that one. It's all good. Shit. So y'all know me well, so I ain't. It's all good, man. Y'all know me well. That's what's up, man. Damn.
What else is going on there, Loke?
Yeah, I think we talked about Wakanda for like 5 minutes.
5 minutes. That's how interested everybody.
Oh, you talking about Black Panther?
And we talked about Warner Brothers and the plagiarism thing for about 5 minutes, and the rest of the time we just been bullshitting
about comics, which is what we do. That's around for you.
So apparently there is some tension at DC, obviously, because people are getting fired fucking left and right, and people are getting told, you know what, you ain't making something that's making money, you're out. But apparently there is some friction between James Gunn
and The Rock.
Oh,
well,
what's going on?
Well, I mean, there's different things involved. You got The Rock that's been trying to be, you got The Rock that's trying to put out this fucking movie for like the last 10 to 13 years or 15 years or some shit. And then with the movie finally coming out, he was able to get or find a way to get Henry Cavill back. So basically on what he was trying to do to try to revive what was going on with DC, you got James Gunn that actually gets called, to be the head of DC along with Safran. and they got different ideas for DC than The Rock had, because The Rock was looking at it like, yo, if I'm going to be the guy that's going to put DC on my back to fucking save this shit, I'm going to bring Henry Cavill back as Superman in this motherfucker. And then basically he was trying to put Black Adam to be the centerpiece of the DC universe, man, which I could understand, you know, because it's his character. But at the same time, that wouldn't have been the right move, man, because Black Adam ain't shit to really put as a centerpiece, because he wanted to do like a Black Adam versus Justice League versus Suicide Squad movie. And it's like, yo, you're giving Black Adam too much credit, man, when there's so much other shit going on. People still don't know who the fuck he is.
Yeah,
but just because it's The Rock and he's, you know, wheeling and dealing, and he was able to, you know, get Cavill back, he feels like he has some say so, and then boom, you got the presidents that actually do have the say so. So it's, you know, it's the politics of it all, man. They bumping heads.
Yeah, I think he wants Black Adam to be the Iron Man of the DCU.
Right. That's what I said. Yeah, he wants to be the focal point.
My guess is he has a little less clout now after Black Adam hasn't really done all that great.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean,
well, something similar happened with The Rock before, when he came out with that, what was it, that offshoot of Fast and the Furious? What was that movie called? The one no one remembers. Hobbs and Shaw, right? Rock goes after what's his name? The guy who plays Dom in Fast and the Furious. Goes after Vin Diesel. Right, and they get in this big argument, and there's all kinds of shakeup at Warner Brothers, and everybody's freaking out. Nobody knows what to do, and finally, Rock gets his way and gets to make his movie. And he's like, "This is going to be the breakout movie. These are the two best stars. Yada yada yada. We're going to make a whole series about this." And fucking that movie didn't do anything. That movie was trash.
Yeah, I'm not sure The Rock is as big a draw as he thinks he is.
But I mean, you know, he was great when he first showed up. I thought that was like the height of the Fast and the Furious movies, was when Rock first showed up. But then they just got crazier and crazier, and Vin Diesel wanted to go in a different direction. He wanted to make it all like spy shit. And instead of like Ocean's 11, they should have left it more like, you know, we're the heist guys, we're the guys that go in and do these crazy heists. They should have left it like that instead of turning it into like James Bond Secret Service shit. We're going to send you on a mission that we could just send a team of commandos and wipe everybody, but we're going to send y'all. Yeah, okay. Stay with,
because y'all got the baddest cars.
Yeah, stay with the heist shit, guys. But look at what happened there. So, I mean, Rock gets involved in something, and he starts swinging his rock around, and it's either going to be good or it's going to be bad, or it's going to be just okay. So I think Black Adam was okay. It wasn't like holy shit. But then again, you've got the Snyder people that are like, you know, Black Adam saved the Snyderverse. It's not the fucking Snyderverse.
No.
Snyder's not coming back. This is James Gunn's machine now.
It's not coming back.
Henry Cavill's coming back because they're not stupid. For once they're not looking at this like idiots. Release the Ayer cut, release all this shit people have been asking for and wanting, and do some good movies and make us proud, and we'll start watching your shit a lot more.
The thing with the current regime right now, Warner Brothers Discovery, is that, you know, it's kind of fucked up, man. You got this guy, his company, they buy Warner Brothers, and they inherit all this bullshit, man. I'm talking about from Harry Potter to fucking DC Comics and just everything in between, getting woke as fuck. And it's Ezra Miller and Amber Heard and lawsuits and grooming and all kind of just weird, all the fucked up shit in between. This guy buys this shit, inherits all this whatever, you know, dealing with CW, get rid of them. And it's like, to be honest, it's like, I I see the change. I see some changes, and all the people that fucked it up, looks like a lot of them are gone.
Yeah, and it's like a lot of turnover there.
Right. So to be honest, man, it's like, I'm just saying, I'm a fan of DC, man. I'm not gonna fucking lie. I'm a fan of old DC, more than just this current shit. But just to see this guy come in, clean house, get James Gunn, do all this other shit, get Henry Cavill back. He's trying to, he's trying more to at least mend the fence. I mean, dude, this dude had lunch with fucking Christopher Nolan and trying to like fix what the fuck happened with him during the whole pandemic. I give this guy a little bit more credit on trying to just fix the shit and trying to get the shit on a good note than what everybody has done previously in the last few years to fuck it up.
Well,
so for I mean, to be honest, yeah, he's it's Warner Brothers, and all I'm saying is with what this guy's trying to do, I'm willing to give this guy a chance, and not a wholehearted chance. Like, I'm willing, because he could fuck it up tomorrow. But the thing is, with this guy really trying to bring back what people like, and he hired James Gunn, which is the reason why Phase 4 fucked up. Like I said before, what would actually fuck up Disney right now? What would you guys think if David Zaslav and James Gunn and them got the Russo brothers right now?
That would be interesting.
I think it would. And you know what? The thing is, the Russos ain't even going back to Disney because of all the shit that happened with Scarlett Johansson. Another way, they were so vocal with Black Widow, they ain't going back. But the thing is,
but here's the thing, 24. I can only speak for me. Right. I don't want fucking Marvel's leftovers. I don't care if it's the Russo brothers. I don't care if it's Jon Favreau. I don't care if it's I don't care who the hell they have. I don't want their leftovers. I saw a damn article about them that they were in talks with douchebag McGee, fucking what's his name that
Kevin
runs all that.
Feige.
Fuck
I heard
him.
about that.
I don't want him running DC. Why you want to trade? Why you want to trade me him? No, hell no. That's just like that shit with JJ. Oh, we're gonna pay JJ Abrams $400 million to run the DCEU. Oops, we got James Gunn.
Look how that turned out.
Yeah.
From what I heard, I don't know if you guys heard like what Zaslav did when he found out that he was actually acquiring Warner Brothers. Like when the government was giving them the okay to do it after they looked over the deal and was like, okay, well, you got to do this and you got to do that, like basically get rid of CW and do all this other shit in order to make, and he did good on all that. What he did was he knew what he was walking into, and he didn't know how to fucking run it. So what he did was he did talk to Kevin Feige, and he went to Alan Horn and went to all the one, because he knew he was basically taking on something that was bigger than what he's ever fucked with. And basically, he went to the people that were successful in doing it, doing in what what Warner Brothers had failed. He went to the people that actually made it succeed. And I'm not sticking up for him. I'm just saying, so he went and he had meetings with all these guys and try to pick their brains and see, like, how the fuck did you do this and make this happen? And, how did you make it work? And, they were, from what I heard, they were cool enough to talk to him and kind of lace him up with some knowledge. That was how he was able to get Alan Horn, as a consultant. And I know that, it's like, yeah, I agree with Loki. I understand what you're saying about picking up people's leftovers from Disney. But the thing is, the leftovers he's picking up is the people and the things that made all that over there successful, because everybody else that DC picked couldn't do shit with it compared to them. So it's kind of like, I don't know, man. It's when you talk about a guy that had the money to buy it all, but doesn't have all the knowledge to fucking put it all together, he just went to the folks that actually made it successful and tried, and in doing so, he was able to get James Gunn, and all this other shit, So, like I say, I'm not, sticking up for the man, but I understand that he came to this knowing that it was, bigger than what the fuck he can, than what he was doing with just Discovery by itself. He's talking about a whole cinematic universe. You talking about going from Discovery to fucking owning Superman and Batman in every aspect, in every form, just comic books, movies, cartoons. You can run them all in every which way possible. Put them on lunch boxes. Put them on your fucking underwear. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do with these people, with these characters.
Tell us how you really feel.
So, it's like, it's like he has all that in his power, man, and he just went to the people that have the same ability with Hulk and Captain America, Iron Man, and whoever the fuck else, and was like, man, how did y'all make this shit go? Because I'm buying a company that fucked it all up.
Classic.
So,
what do you think?
I can't blame him. I can't blame him if he doesn't know where the fuck to start from. Even though he had the money to buy him, and I can understand why he goes to Marvel to figure out, how did you make this go? That's why he's coming with this whole what you call it, shared universe thing. That's why he's pushing that so much.
Well, I think Zaslav's going in a positive direction, and I think it's good that he's bringing Cavill back. And I didn't know about him reaching out to Nolan. If he's doing that, that's cool too. I think that bringing in the Russo brothers would be a good thing. I mean, I think you want people who are going to be good and who are accomplished to make good content. And I wouldn't have a problem with them doing a DC property, but my guess is they probably aren't going to want to do it anyway. But I think that Zaslav's, he's got his work cut out for him, because I think they've had so many mediocre and disappointing films that I think the brand is really kind of damaged at this point, and they're going to have a difficult time getting people enthusiastic for anything.
Yep.
Clobby.
I forgot the original question now.
My boy.
It was about basically Gunn, right? And what's his name?
Well,
Gunn,
basically,
the Rock,
like
would
you, if you were in his position, would you take like Kevin Feige? I know you wouldn't. Would you take any of the people? Like, I mean, because the way I look at it, it's like these are leftovers. Would you take the Russo brothers to?
Oh yeah. You know what? Because it's hard to blame. Look, they did some. Endgame is so frustrating. Yet I think the good things that are in there are probably from them for sure. But they were under the control of the garbage that is Feige. Right. And the corporation. So that's why that movie is so frustrating. And you notice they're out now. But I think a lot of their quality shone through a lot of corporate crap that held them back a little bit. But if they were to be brought in and they were, again, whether it works out or not, I would definitely want to roll the dice on guys like that. They are really good at what they do. And so I'd be excited if Zaslav brought them in and gave them Superman or something like that. Now, they may be strictly guys who are Marvel fans. I don't know what their personal preference is in terms of characters, but they do know comics and know how to make a good film. I'd love to see them be brought in and put on one of the bigger projects. So I'd be game. I'd like to see that. As far as Gunn and The Rock go, I'm cautiously optimistic about Gunn. He doesn't seem like the right fit for a lot of these characters, but he could surprise us. He does seem to at least know how to make a very entertaining film, but he also is he a one-trick pony, because all of his movies are the same. For the most part, everything he does is the same. That doesn't mean he can't break out of that and at least bring in the right people to do the right characters. I wouldn't want that approach that he's used on Guardians or even especially the Suicide Squad or Peacemaker.
Right,
I would not want that approach to Superman or anything like that.
Yeah.
But just because everything he has directed personally is like that doesn't mean necessarily that he would do that. And you would, but if he did, I wouldn't be surprised either. But I would at least think he's worth a gamble on right now, because you can't get any worse than what Snyder and what's his Hamada and all those guys did to the DC characters. So there's nothing that James Gunn can do could be worse than what Snyder did. So and he is capable of doing some good things. So
you say that now.
I say that with full confidence. You can't be worse. He could, for example, he could make some silly, ridiculous movies that aren't very good, and it won't be the bastardization of the character of Superman that Man of Steel is, because you can't get any worse. Or Bull versus Shite or stuff like that. You can't degrade the characters any worse. You could be silly with them. You could even make mockeries of them and make movies that aren't good. That's one thing. I don't think you could make them any more disgusting than Snyder did. He could make movies that aren't very good. I'm not saying he won't be perfect, but I'm willing to see them take a chance on them.
Hey, did you see who James Gunn's been teasing lately? Like basically, like a couple of days ago, he put out Batmite. then he just put out Mr. Terrific. The updated, the black version of Mr. Terrific. I think he did that because of Wonder Man.
Did he put out a tweet about Lobo?
Yeah, he did. What is it? Not a tweet. It was on some other platform.
I think wasn't that Jason Momoa?
Comics. GUA Comics. What is that? See, current. I think he means current day comics, maybe. There's always worse. Yeah, I mean that's the typical refrain. But I'm saying, I remember I did say I'm willing to gamble that he wouldn't be. I find it very difficult to believe that anyone could be worse than Snyder. I'm not saying anything's impossible, but it would take some work to be worse than Snyder. For me, as an individual.
Man.
Could it happen? Sure. Anything could happen. Yeah. I could be going, one day I could be going, wow, I never thought anything would be worse than Snyder. And there you go. I'm saying it's okay. If it makes you feel any better, if it makes you feel any better, I'll say it's a long shot. It can be garbage and still not be as bad as Snyder. It's a long shot to be worse. That's just one Snyder hater's opinion.
And then James Gunn was also shouting out Jonah Hex.
Put it to you like this: I think he's a far more clever filmmaker and understands comics far better than Snyder. If that revision helps you any.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah.
Hey, is anybody a fan of Andromeda, the TV show?
The TV show?
I was, yeah.
You know they have an Andromeda Aquaman crossover going on right now in DC Comics.
Oh my God!
With the old TV show?
Yeah, the characters from Andromeda, the TV show,
that's strange,
are teaming up with Aquaman. And I don't know. There's something happened and their worlds collide. Find your love.
You're talking about the one with what's his face, Kevin Sorbo?
Yeah,
yeah.
What's his name? Momo was on that show.
Right. So basically,
Momo?
Yeah.
Huh.
I never can say his name. I just say Momo. Jason Momo.
Yeah. So there's some shit out there. So if you look it up, they have an Aquaman Andromeda crossover going on right now. It's on issue 3.
That is the strangest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's weird.
That's the strangest thing I've heard since all the Looney Tunes and Hanna-Barbera DC crossover.
Yeah, did they meet the puppets from Farscape? I'd read that. A Muppet, Farscape, and comic book crossover. I could deal with that. Guys, that's it for tonight. Thank you for coming by and hanging out with Comic Book Roundtable. It is an absolute pleasure to hang out with these gentlemen, these wonderful gentlemen, talking comics, looking at comics, watching 24 Bag and Board comics. You're going to get to watch Loki Bag and Board some shit too soon, because Loki is breaking out the camera and is going to break out the tripod and have it focused down on my little table over here.
Before we go,
I can bag and board. Yes, by all means.
I'm sorry. I just wanted to mention after this at 9, me and Fusion 24 are going to go over to my channel and talk some Golden Age comics and characters. And so people are welcome to come over and check that out.
Heck yeah, Clobby, what do you got going on? I know you got something
at
coming.
9, I'll be doing my show, like my usual Wednesday night show. I'll be doing that. My tonight, since the since this horrible abomination that has been put upon the classic 83-year-old staple of a character, the Submariner, this horrible movie that just came out, we're gonna do him some justice tonight by talking some classic, real deal Submariner on my show in about half an hour on at 9. Also, the usual
Awesome.
the Wednesday nighter.
Guys, make sure you check those out. Make sure you're subscribed to Classic Comics 24/7 Fusion and Clobbering Times. We will be back next week with another roundtable. But until then, be safe, be excellent to each other. Always speak friend to enter. We'll catch you guys on the next comic book roundtable.
Thanks. Thank you, everybody.
Peace.
Good night.
Blow that shit up. Blow it up. 24/7.
Yeah, baby.
These videos
Clobbering Times over at Clobbering
Like,
Times channel.
comment,
Make sure you guys
and
check out
subscribe,
Classic Comics on the way out.
hammer
Take
that
care, everybody.
notification bell.